Hello and welcome back. We are continuing here as Western France, aka Centaur Baguette, aka France, and we, last episode, put Bonaparte back on the throne. Now, this is of course Bonaparte Light. It is not Napoleon Bonaparte, it is instead his nephew, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, but it's time for us to start acting like a Bonaparte and punishing Europe for what they did to our uncle. And I think there's no better person to start with than Great Britain. And I know what you might be thinking, yeah, we're gonna take some British Isle land, we're gonna take the home counties, this sort of stuff. No, this is not what we're gonna do. Before you crush their body, you must crush their spirit. And there's only one thing the English people really love. Truly. Now, we can't select their English pops because we have no English pops in France. So I can't show you, but I can assure you, the only thing that the English care about is tea. So what our goal is for this episode, we're going to start the train rolling on eliminating every sell order of tea from the English market. This is the goal. We will remove all the tea from their market. Now, we will start a war with them here in Cape Colony, and I know what you're thinking, why Cape Colony? They don't have any tea. You're correct, they don't have any tea, but nobody has an interest in this region other than British people, and I guess Zulu and Transvaal and Gazan and these types. And so what we will do is we will transfer their subject, because they don't want to live under Great Britain anyways, and then we will get a war with Great Britain that only a few people can join. Before we do this, though, what we will do is we will trick Austria into becoming our ally. We will say, hey buddy, we're going to give you an obligation, us moral, upstanding, non-infamous person in this world. We're nice and we're not like our uncle. We're not going to be like some sort of power, sort of crazy trip person. I don't know what you're talking about. We got to put it in the Bessemer process stuff. But they accepted our alliance. They believed it. They bought it hook, line, and sinker. Now we're going to start some stuff. So we are going to transfer subject to ourselves, of course, and then we are going to transfer East India Company to ourselves. We are going to transfer the East India Company. We're going to transfer Baroda. Where is Baroda? Where is Baroda? Oh, that's part of the East India Company. And Kutch is too? Maybe we can take all of the stuff then. So we're also going to transfer Portugal, because Portugal does in fact have land that can produce tea. And so we're going to take Portugal as well. But this makes things a little bit more interesting. And then I believe we're also going to go after, Singapore. Now, I believe this is Malay, and so we'll have to take treaty port in Malay, or conquer state for Malay. I'll try and find it, but then we will be continuing on to war, a war that will be just us, and we'll shellac them the good old-fashioned way. What am I thinking? I spent a bunch of time looking for Singapore. It does seem to be the bug, or not bug, or whatever it is, feature, where if it's a treaty port, then you cannot take it unless you own one of the states in the area, because you cannot take a treaty port off of another GP if you were a GP. Something to this effect. Seen this bug or feature in 1.2, but we weren't thinking clearly. We only have 30 maneuvers left, and there's something else we need to put in on this war. We need to, of course, put in humiliation. This needs to be in every single war we do on the UK. And, of course, we also need to add war reparations, because they're going to pay for this war. Obviously, we're not going to pay for this war. Why would we pay for this war? They're going to pay for this war. And it is not just us versus them. We, of course, have our good friend, Austria, who we tricked into an alliance. And so this should be a pretty easy war for us to, give them the business. I forgot we get to experience this little fun bit, too. Our diplomats are going to get expelled from everywhere. US, Austria, Prussia, Russia, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, two Sicilies. United States is doing stuff to us. Great Shig is embargoing us. Prussia declares rivalry. Russia declares rivalry. Gaza sides with Great Britain? Gaza? What? That's the new state, which I actually think is probably a pretty good Congress spot. But they're having none of this, too. Who else? Who else wants a peace? United States rivals us. And the coup fizzles out. Thank God. Democracy is saved? Don't know about that, but, okay. We are trying to cement in the Bonapartists. Austria's damaging relations. Are they going to still join? They're not going to abandon us. They're going to damage relations and expel our diplomats, but leaving the war that they can very, very obviously don't approve on, that's a bridge too far. We, of course, get philanthropy. You'll love to see it. We will just take the enactment chance, because getting on to proportional taxation is a pretty big deal. Actually, we'll take this one, because we're almost all the way through. We already did referral and drafting, so it's just on to voting. And then we will have the big money, the big bucks, and along with some Great British War reparations. Now, we are deficit spending now. We're pretty happy to deficit spend, especially because now that Louis Napoleon Bonaparte is a petite bourgeoisie, these guys are powerful enough to be giving us minus 10% loan interest rate, which is a big nice. This is how we justify our spending, and the war breaks out. Big nice, they didn't back down. We will be doing our good old-fashioned triple quad land on them and showing them what's up. Showing them the baguette, if you know what I mean. Taste some of this baguette. So the landings have begun, and it looks like we're not the only one doing a landing here. Looks like they're trying to send it in a little bit. I would like to note we are minus 200k, and another, of course, noteworthy feature of what's going on here is, let's take a look at the market. We just want to see how many sell orders the Great British market has of tea, you know, at the start of all this, because we're going to be tanking it at the end of it. So currently they have sell orders of 1.73k, and we will see just how much tea we have denied to them as this war continues. So we get our quad landing here with Quinine unlocked. Big nice on the Quinine. I think we will probably just take a quick look here, and we will look to if we have insufficient tax capacity anywhere. We don't, but we will add 5 governments here, looking to build them a little bit tall. And with these extra governments, what we will do is we will increase our colonization institution once we can. Looks like our quad landing. Where's the 4th? I see the 1st, the 5th, the 6th. Looks like this guy's going to get through that, though, and he's going to get another landing on, and this one will get through. See, the way it is they're all tied up here, and so, you know, this is the triple landing. They can't reassign, and so they're all tied up with this stack here that they can't do anything here, and you just get the easy-peasy landings off. We will be looking to keep someone home in France to defend against the UK's landing, but other than that, we're just looking to get a front. Now, I would not be shocked if Austria didn't help us at all, because, well, reasons, but here we get in. So we are in here. Now, this guy, you did a good job, and while you're a Luddite, we're just going to promote you a couple times. That way you have a ton of, you have a decent amount more troops, and then we will also look to, you know, send as many people up on over. Actually, maybe we're going to keep this innovative trench rat. Actually, we're going to keep the 20 stack. Nope, he's from Rhine. And we're going to take a look at what other guys we can recruit, specifically in the France HQ, because we would love to have another guy in here. And I think we might just recruit this guy. We'll leave that guy at home, and so we'll send this guy on over, because we do want to have someone defending kind of the home area, our version of the home counties, and then we'll try and get a little bit of a push off here. We get our guys out over, and we get proportional taxation. Now, we're losing a ton, and this should just make a hitch of a readjustment, and we should be in pretty good shape. Yeah, it generally takes a little while to readjust. I think off the back of this, we will also look to maybe decrease taxes a little bit more. We decrease taxes a little bit. It's actually not going to send us into a new legitimacy bracket, but we're decreasing taxes to try and combat some of the radicalism. But maybe we shouldn't be, and maybe we should just be taxing more and looking to construct more. This is a bit of a strategy, but we are coming in hot here, and we should be able to push into this, you know, re-land, do these types of stuff. They're trying to get a landing in. We should be able to defend again. What is this? A revolution to enact autocracy? That's not ideal. We didn't see that brewing. Let's... I did not see that brewing. So, I think we would just want to enact autocracy here. Is there a way for us to do that? Can we say... Is this a revolution is brewing? I think this is a revolution is brewing. And then, of course, we're gonna do our borders must reach the Rhine. Is this the new revolution is brewing mechanic? I don't think it's a revolution outright yet. I think this is the brewing mechanic. And they want to enact autocracy. This political movement is revolutionary. Okay. Was a little bit scared there for a second, but this is very obvious when it starts brewing. That had me startled. So we will try and enact autocracy. It's at 100%, so we're probably going to be able to get it through, and this should make them de-revolutionary. Now let's take a look over here. We should be able to manage these fronts and make sure we can, you know, kind of get a push in. We will definitely, oh, that guy's involved in battle. We would like to move him over here, but we're going to look to push, reland, do all these sorts of things, and enforce on the UK here, and then we will be absolutely huge once we have the Dutch East Indies. Sorry, the East India Company, as it were. So the UK does manage to get a landing on us. Luckily, we do have this guy that we held back that we are assigning to the front just to be able to defend. Also, I wanted to point out this interface. We can see that the agitator that we had invited is in fact supporting, you know, autocracy here, and he is part of the driving force for why we are having this revolutionary movement, but they are placated currently. We're still going to get a tick from them, but we have to keep them placated. We can't come off of, you know, trying to pass autocracy, try and pull a little bit of sneaky, which how it used to be, but it looks like it may be a little bit of a base race here between us and the UK. Maybe we're supposed to reland, and maybe we're supposed to reassign. Why don't we reassign one guy back, just to try and, you know, pull this back. We, of course, this 156er was not assigned. He was trying to do a landing. He failed, and then we got him back in, and so, you know, we should be able to make pretty short work of them here. We'll reassign on fronts, try and micromanage this, but overall this should be a pretty easy war because France starts out with the strongest military in the game. We haven't expanded it at all. We're not abusing, you know, the conscription edict, and still it's a pretty easy war, especially after they've lost all that Scottish land. Scottish. So we got a little event here that's part of the new events where someone's caught trying to return in Isle de France. Returning from time abroad to evade prison, Louis Charles de la Juche, however it's pronounced, was caught trying to re-enter France. And so we can arrest him again. Hiding in another country is not exile. And so we can exile him again, or we can just let him be in here and he appears in France. I think we want to just arrest him again. He will get political martyr permanently, so he'll get extra popularity. So I assume if they send him back, it will become a little bit of a problem for us. But I think we want to keep this open, and I think that if we take a look at him, we have one slot for agitators remaining, and I think we want to keep it open. And if we take a look at him, his ideology is radical, and before in patch 1.2, radical ideology was extremely important because they would allow you to pass multiculturalism. Now they don't. And they, you know, endorse this presidential republic nonsense, universal suffrage nonsense, protected speech, all this type of stuff, which is very much not where we want to be, except for, you know, guaranteed libs. We might want that. And this is not where we want to be during, like, this Napoleonic era where we're just going to crush Europe. And so we're going to say bye-bye, see you later, sayonara, how do you say it in French? Bonjour? No. Bon voyage? No. Au revoir. And we get our enforcement here on Great Britain. Big nice. And so we will have to take a look who we are still fighting against. It looks like we can accept just white peace against these guys because there's nothing going on. We have no terms on them. I think it just auto-enforces anyways. Let's take a tick and see if it just auto-enforces. No, it doesn't auto-enforce. I believe they can just capitulate and give nothing, but we'll take the white peace, and then we'll take a look on our beautiful... The sun never sets on the French Empire, you know what I'm saying? But now, they had 1.2k. Right? And 1.2k what? 1.2k income? 1.2k army? No. Remember, we're crushing their spirits. They had 1.2k sell orders of tea in their economy. So let's come into this trade node, map mode, and let's take a look. How many sell orders do they have? How many sell orders do you have now? Only 200 sell orders. They're all from trade routes. Where are these tea plantations? They're in Singapore, Wenzhou, and Tasmania. These will have to be the places we take next as we look to completely deny tea from their market. Now, hopefully they're not importing from us anything, because we're on free trade, so we can't stop them. No, they're importing it from the Qing, but this is going to be big nice for us. And then we have to kind of take a look at what we maybe want to do next here. Maybe we'll look to expand the natural borders of France. We'll have a little bit of a think here. So we're going to look to fix up our borders, but I think I wanted to talk about a little bit, you know, we kind of have this radicalism problem that we got going on, and it's largely off the back of the fact that we've been running high taxes this entire game. So we're going to come back to medium taxes and look to keep our deficit spend on. It's going to be a relatively small deficit spend, but also just kind of looking in at the places that have particularly a lot of radicals. We're going to look to create jobs there because we have been expanding elsewhere for some time. Now you can see we've already started to kind of create jobs in these places, but we'll put some of these places on auto expand. You know, we'll build up a little bit in some of these places. That way we are going to be having more jobs for them, and their SOLs should be coming on up, you know, with both of these things going on here. And so this will help to kind of do this. Now we're also going to try and fix these borders up. So sorry, Belgium, you're going to have to give back what you stole from us. Yeah, that's right. This is a return state CB. It's not yours properly. Now we will have Austria on our side. Probably, and we will have probably have to face down Prussia and the United States. So we will look to take both of those from them, and then and then where's the other one? And then we will look to put in humiliation CVs and war reps in particular on these great powers, as we are, you know, kind of focused more on not getting absolutely dogpiled, because we kind of are in a bit of a financial situation where we don't really want to fight a huge war, and in fact perhaps we should be fighting in Algeria, this sort of thing, but we will wait and see how this develops, because this play is going to be pretty important. We see the US come on in, and so we will probably put in something on the US, and we will wait to see who else comes on in before kind of making this decision. You know, wait until this sees over here. We will probably want to take war reps from them, as well as the United States sided with them twice, or is this just a delay? Looks like it's going to be just the US here, and so we want to take a little bit of a think, and what we will probably put on the US is war reparations and humiliate. So let's come in here in diplomacy, diplomatic actions, and we are going to rival the US so we can humiliate them. That way they will not be able to join plays against us after this. We will also mobilize our big boy and set him on this front and mobilize. We're going to be mobilizing everyone, but what we will be doing is we will be landing the US as well, to try and take some stuff. So we're going to want to put in humiliation so they can't join plays against us, and war reparations so we can continue to crank up construction. And now we have 45 maneuvers remaining, and we don't care about maneuver. And I know what you might be thinking. Now's the time to take New York. No, this is not the game plan. We want to wait, how do we want to say this? We want to Indian their purchase. See, they bought Louisiana from us, and this was an Indian purchase, and we're going to take it back. So we're going to go for Louisiana first, and then we're going to look to take all of the Louisiana purchase. We are going to unpurchase it, as it were. We want to return to sender, so we will be going for... Can we... Is it in? Yeah, okay. We will be going for Louisiana, and then Arkansas, if we have maneuvers. Conquer state. I believe... Arkansas, well, it's just everything west of the Louisiana, huh? So we will also go after Texas here. And then also Arkansas and Indian Territory, something like this. But we are unpurchasing this from them. Florida was not part of it, so they can keep Florida. We probably don't want Florida anyways. And so this will be kind of our war set in, and we will mobilize guys, stick guys on fronts, and get ready to do a few landings on the US of A. Unmanifest their destiny, you know what I mean? We get a little pass on autocracy, and now, to be honest, we have like more authority than we can handle. Let's take a look at our legitimacy. It's not very legitimate, but let's see what we can cook up in terms of legitimacy. Looks like we can do pretty well with just the armed forces and the petite bourgeoisie, who of course are the leaders. And you know, I'm thinking we actually want to use this authority to bolster the petite bourgeoisie. They're actually not a terrible interest group. They just kind of oppose like a lot of useful things. Looking at this, we see we're about as legitimate with the three of these, so we'll just take this one out for now. We will maybe look to lower taxes to work on this legitimacy. Maybe take Beijing, because everyone knows that that makes everything more legitimate. But with this autocracy pass... or sorry, with this extra authority we've gained, we're going to actually take a look here. We're going to bolster the petite bourgeoisie, because as these guys gain more clout, that'll help out. And if we can actually get them above 20%, it would be big nice to have this minus 20% loan interest rate. And so hopefully this helps out. If not, we'll kind of... We have so much authority, like we're already running like all the consumption taxes we kind of want, and so we'll try and figure something. Ooh, we do not want government wages that high though. We want to keep those a little bit down low. We do want the mill wages up though. But yeah, so we will be trying to, you know, figure this out. I'm guessing once we take Beijing, we'd be up here, something like this, in order to keep our, you know, I think Napoleon should be the most legit, but somehow he's not. He does have the plus 50 from being the restorer, so this will give us a lot of extra authority. So this is part of why we have a lot of authority, and part of why monarchism can kind of work for some countries like Great Britain. You know, Victoria has a similar modifier where she has Victorian propriety, the plus 50 popularity, and this can make them a little bit better because instead of thinking of it, you know, as where is it, monarchy as being, you know, plus 200 authority, it's more like plus 250. Plus 250. But we will continue on with this war we got going, brewing. So we have another, you know, kind of look at patch 1.3, a little bit of a spooky thing coming on up, where the new rev system actually seems like it's pretty robust when combined with agitators, because I'm actually not sure what we can do about this revolution that's brewing with the Intelligentsia to enact census suffrage, and they're going to have a lion's share of the country. And I'm not even sure what we're supposed to do here, other than maybe support the revolution. You know, because here's the thing. If we try and enact census suffrage, it's immediately we're immediately going to have a huge problem. Because this is going to radicalize all of the, you know, the conservative bloc entirely, and we're going to rev that way too. So it looks like maybe there's no way to avoid a revolution, and we also have this rise to radicalism event at the same time, and so maybe we support the radical movement here, but we really don't want to lose our Mr. Bonaparte. We want to play a little bit more Bonaparte, and so we'll try and figure out a way to, you know, beat this revolution, but this is coming at a terrible time when we're like in the middle of war. But I think what we're going to be doing here is we are going to be recruiting up in several of these places that do not look revolutionary, and we'll be putting that at the front of the queue, and we will try and I guess fight this out, maybe with the help of our ally and what puppets we have, which is not a lot. But maybe we can get this done. But concurrently with all this war stuff, this is going to be rough. It is going to brew up pretty quick, and we get this third Bonaparte event as well. Let's see what this is about. Chastened by his travels abroad and failed coup, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte has returned to French borders. Wait, isn't this our leader? This is a bit of a buggy bug, right? He finally returned, even though he's leading the country. We're taking a little bit of screen of that. We can send him far away, and perhaps he's learned his lesson, and just have him appear in France. I think we're happy to have him appear in France. Come back home to us, Daddy. Like, what? Perhaps he... what? This is so wild. Okay. We don't want to kill his popularity or any of this, so perhaps he's learned his lesson. And we'll take a look at our agitators. But it does look like and he's an agitator. He's an agitator and the ruler. We love to see it, dude. We love to see it. Agitator slash ruler Louis Napoleon Bonaparte. Let's look up. Let's come back into this. You can see. Look, there's the agitator, and there's the ruler. Perfect. Chef's kiss. Thank you, Paradox. Beautiful. So our landing on the US here was successful because we did a triple landing, and now what we're going to do, we can't even promote him up any further. Well, we're going to send more boyos, and hopefully we'll be able to get a push here and be able to resolve this war in time for figuring out our revolution, exactly kind of how we feel about this, if we're going to join the other side. At this point, when we have a double Napoleon, when we have a Napoleon agitator and a Napoleon leader, I think we just can't get off of Napoleonism this early, and so we're going to try and stick it out and try and, you know, figure out what we can do against all this. We can, of course, roll back all their PMs to terrible ones, this sort of thing. But let's take a look. We will get opposition group approval. This will actually be pretty good for us. Event for the revolutionary movement for enact census suffrage. In war, we will find peace. And so it looks like just having this war, it's going to give them political strength, which obviously isn't ideal. But them getting interest group approval would maybe be able to kind of get this going. So let's just take a look at how pissed they are at us. It's not even that pissed. And so but the rural folk might drop this insurrectionary if we get them under -10. The Intelligentsia I think are agitator. Well, this guy's authoritarian, so he's more happy with autocracy than he is census suffrage. So I don't think he's agitating for it. So we'll do in war we have peace. We'll also just take a look. You know, yeah. So these guys are supporting agitators. Perfect. And so hopefully this gets the interest group out from being unhappy enough. Maybe we can try and lower taxes even. We have had taxes a little bit low, but we can lower them even more. We do have to worry about the deficit getting larger and larger. I don't think we can swing that to try and offset this rebellion. But we are trying to make a little bit of push on consumption goods. Let's also push on this. But yeah, we will continue fighting this war, and hopefully we don't have an overlap of both the war and the revolution. I think Austria is not helping us at all. Or actually it looks like they're helping us. Or wherever that 28 stack is from. Who is that? Austria. So Austria is still helping us, even though they hate our guts. Let's take a look actually at them. Diplomacy, belligerent. But they're helping us out in our wars, so go figure. Hopefully we can get this war through though. So we get a new sort of event that I think is a little bit interesting. Membership list discovered. Event for the revolutionary movement to enact census suffrage. And we can hunt down people on the list to kind of brick the revolution. So far, we've been getting a few of these events that have been interesting and have been allowing us to kind of keep this revolution at bay. We can also do this to give the Intelligentsia minus interest group political strength. And also this one, which attacks specifically our boyo... Gisabart, or whatever his name is, but he's not supporting this anyways, because he is, his ideology is not consistent with that, even though he's an intelligentsia, he's authoritarian, so he's not about that census suffrage type. So what we will do is we will kind of kneecap the intelligentsia a little bit, and try and keep this revolution at bay while we are trying to finish off this war. Our ally is now embargoing us. You love to see it, when they will still help you out with the war, but they don't want to trade with you. You know how it is, the whole baguette centaur life. Where's that baguette centaur at? There we go. We live in it. We have the double Napoleon too. Can't forget we have, of course, this Napoleon, but also, you know, in addition to being the very head of the state and that sort of stuff, he also is, you know, an insurrectionary agitator agitating against our own government. You know, he's the two of these things. He's a dynamic man. He's not like old Napoleon. This is a new kind of Napoleon. The schizophrenic Napoleon who's an agitator against his own self. So it looks like we can get ourselves a peace deal here, getting war reps, humiliate American war, or we already said war reps, Louisiana and Texas. So we're well on our way for unpurchasing this Louisiana, you know what I mean? This is French territory. Now it doesn't look super French because like same color blue, but we're gonna look to take everything west of the Mississippi. We've also righted the borders over here, so we're righting some wrongs here as schizophrenic both ruler and agitator Napoleon. And this episode, to conclude it out, in addition to, you know, this US war and this border expansion, we of course did absolutely eviscerate the Great British market. Yeah, the sun never sets on the French Empire here. And of course, the main goal is we need to crush their spirits before we crush their bodies. And what do you mean by spirits? Let's come in here. Let's look at the British market. Look at the goods, and let's see how little tea they have. Yep, very little tea plantations. We're going to look to take these off them in the near future. It looks like they got some hiding out in, you know, over here in this. We're going to be taking that from them in a few years' time. No tea for the British. That has been the mantra of this episode. In addition to, you know, fixing some borders that are a little bit off. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And have a good day.